Yeah, do
Well, it's old, but it's still is.
it.
Yeah. You want to phone Zoom? We will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for July 20th, 2022 to order. If you will rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
Thank you for this day. Oh Lord, help us to serve and love one another as you showed us in your example while you were here on earth in the flesh. I pray for all the individuals in this room today to have a safe day at work, a safe day of travel, and a wonderful evening once they go home with their family and enjoy the comforts of peace and quiet of their own home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Hinkle is on the telephone. Commissioner Hinkle is on the phone. So if somebody's wondering where he's at, he's here with us. He's on in person. Okay, is there anyone signed up to speak publicly?
There is not, Commissioner.
Thank you. Are we on Zoom?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, is there anyone on Zoom that wishes to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Okay, hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda.
motion approved, please.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 3, payroll change notices. We have one under A.
Motion approved, A, please.
Motion to approve 3A. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meeting under A. What's the pleasure?
Motion approved, please.
Motion to approve 4A. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 5, requisitions, purchase orders, invoices as shown on vendor requisition list of payments under A.
Motion approved, A, please.
Motion to approve 5A. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. It appears we have no exoneration, corrective tickets, or joint applications. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Number 7, we will move on to number 7. Consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District Series 2021A and B, Development District number 3, White Oaks number 2, and Series 2008A, Charles Point Project number 2, North Land Bay Improvements, A and B.
Approve A and B, please.
Okay. Motion has been made to approve A and B. These aren't duplicates.
No, they're not.
Okay. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. It appears we have no requisitions for the GSA building.
That is correct.
Number 9, review, discuss, consider giving $500 to Nutter Fort Library for handicap ramp.
Motion approved, $500 for handicap ramp, please.
Motion's been made to approve $500 for the Nutter Fort Public Library handicap ramp. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay. Number 10, review, discuss, consider changes to the Harrison County policy and procedures regarding contributions to other entities. We have the previous policy, and we have B, A is the previous policy, and B is the revised policy.
Motion to approve B, the revised policy. Laura, can you please explain?
Yes, so on B, what we did, it's pretty much the same verbiage and everything that is in A, except we did change the allocation amounts. So the allocation for a one-day event on the old policy was $1,000. This one would move it to $2,000 for a one-day event. And as for an event more than one day, old policy was for $2,000. The new policy has it for $2,500 to try to help with inflation, and everything that has gone up from when the original policy was made.
What was the
One day,
number
give
for
it
one day?
event.
One day, $2,000 is, it was before 1,000 for a one-day event. Now it's 2,000 for a one-day event. And then for more than one day, it was $2,000 and the suggestion is $2,500. Is that what you would like to see, or would you like to see it different?
And what was the previous 2-day?
2,500. Or I'm sorry, the previous 2-day was 2,000.
Okay. And the previous one day was 1,000?
That is correct.
I'd like to see, and from what I've seen in the numbers, I don't know why we can't go to at least 3,000.
For a more than one day event?
Yeah.
So my understanding is 2,000 for a one-day event and 3,000 for a more than one-day event.
For a 2-day event.
$3,000 for 2-day and 2,000 for a one day. Is that what?
Yeah.
Or what about 1,500 for a one day? And then 3,000
Those
for
were
a
my thoughts. That
2-day.
was 500 for a one day and 1,000 to add to the 2-day. Those were my thoughts.
Okay.
And I must have misread. Sorry.
I mean, Laura, and I don't have the papers in front of me, but how much money are we bringing in a year?
I did pull the numbers. I know that at the last meeting, a number was thrown out, like 70-some thousand a month that we got from the video lottery. And actually, I pulled the numbers and it's all only in the 20. So it ranges anywhere from 22 to 25,000 a month.
Okay. And I looked at what you sent, what we've spent, and there's some numbers in there that didn't belong, but I think we're not spending more than, for fairs and festivals, not that much money, are we?
But we're using that fund for other funds when people come in to request contributions.
That
Those
is-
are probably the ones that you think don't belong.
And I said it about
That is correct. Just like the Nutter Fort ramp, it would come out of that fund.
Yeah, but I also saw that there was a rail trail bill in there, a couple of those, and some other items that I didn't know we were taking out of there.
Well, out of the rail trail bill originally for that paving, we were taking $600,000 out of coal severance and $600,000 out of this community improvement fund. So that's why you see for the paving. So that's why you did see a few bills coming out of that community improvement for the paving. Of course, the paving came in less, but that's why there's bills coming out of that account.
Okay,
I'll make the motion that for a one day event, it's 1,500 and for a 2-day event, 2,000.
I'll second that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat how much for?
1,500,
1,500 and 2,500.
no, 2,000.
Is
Because
it
it was,
2,000
okay,
now,
okay.
so 3,000
Yes,
for the
I'm
two.
sorry. Yes, sorry.
So the motion on the floor is 1,500 for a one-day event and
2 days,
2,500 for a 2 or 3 day.
3,000.
event.
No, 3,000 for.
Let's start over. Let's just,
Okay,
let's
my
restate the
motion is
motion.
for $1,500 for one day of, for a one day event and 3,000 for a 2-day event.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
And do you want to vest Laura with the authority to update the policy consistent with your motion?
Yes,
Okay.
and include that in my motion, that she update the policy. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. We have 10:10, and I apologize. We have David Goldberg, President and CEO of Mon Health Systems, here to talk to us.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
Hey, would you like me to sit down? Would you like me to
Whatever
stand?
makes you comfortable.
You really look like a hospitable group. I'll sit down.
Okay, good.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here in front of you all today. I think you saw that we announced that we filed a letter of intent, followed by a certificate of need to emulate what we did in Marion County with our Mon Marion Neighborhood Hospital and built a comparable program here in Harrison County in Charles Point. So a lot of people are asking why. You have wonderful healthcare in Harrison County. That's not the why, but we believe improving access to emergency services, reducing cost, providing competition, and making sure that we can meet your needs as what we're seeing is a growing Harrison County. Population is growing, investment at the airport, with Jamie Corton and Charles Point, seeing the growth there. It makes great sense for us to take that model. It's a very affordable, scalable medical hospital with full service emergency room, lab, radiology, cardiac testing, cardiac monitoring. Anything that you would see in a typical emergency room would be honored there. Anything that you would need for a typical medical admission, that means not needing a cardiac catheterization, not delivering a baby unless in an emergency situation, not having surgery, that you would come into a hospital can be treated there by board certified doctors. Our emergency room is staffed with doctors and nurse practitioners 24/7, 365. All nursing on site. We do lab on site. So if heaven forbid a patient comes in and they think they're having a heart attack and you need their troponins checked, we do it right then and there, along with 27 to 30 other lab tests that are immediately needed by the doctors to ascertain what needs to be done for the patient. Before coming to West Virginia, I was blessed to embark on this model in San Antonio, Texas. And I also was able to build 4 of these up in Allegheny County, Pennsylvania, which I think fundamentally changed access across Allegheny County. And I know that will do the same here. To give you a little bit of background on Mon Marion Neighborhood Hospital, who is the filing entity for this. We have seen more than 4,500 emergency room visits since we opened the 14th of December. When we cut the ribbon, it was 364 days from when we cut the ribbon to when we opened. It will be a little bit longer to open Mon Harrison Neighborhood Hospital because it's brand new construction. We expect it to cost about $22.5 million. We will come under budget, as we always do with our construction projects. We will use local West Virginia labor, local West Virginia businesses, like we did when we built Mon Marion, to be able to build it. So the money that we get in revenues from our patients will stay in West Virginia with all the vendors who, the subs, the painters, everybody will be able to be used to do that here. So we're going to make sure there's an economic halo to those who come forward to be able to build this project. So we're in step 1, which is filing the application. It was deemed complete by the Healthcare Authority. That's why we were able to share publicly. There's a 30-day window to see if there are anyone files as what's called an affected party. That aside, we'll go through the process. It could be approved as early as 90 to 120 days, or it could be longer if they have questions or if a hearing is deemed. We hope to build it 16 to 18 months after we get CON approval. We expect to open the door. So it's an exciting day. We're excited along with this and our recent announcement of forming a clinical affiliation with another wonderful hospital in your community, Highland Clarksburg. We are partnering with them to be able to find ways to expand behavioral health needs. It's a significant need nationally, regionally, locally. Vicki Jones and her team are outstanding people. Their doctors are outstanding. We think that there's ways we could take the expertise of what they do for behavioral health, bring that in to help those who come into our emergency rooms, to be able to get them into treatment, get them into a suitable behavioral health environment, than sitting in an emergency bay where some of our behavioral health patients wait too long for care. We have peer recovery coaches in all of our emergency rooms, meaning if you're addicted and you want to be helped out of addiction, we have former addicts who are peer recovery coaches who are in our emergency rooms to be able to help place these patients across the region and sometimes outside the region for treatment or in other facilities. And we think with Highland Clarksburg, one, we want to make sure they're here for the long term. Two, they're wonderful people. They're providing a vital service to the community. And I think we're better, stronger together than separate. So with that, I'm glad to answer any questions I can answer for you all, any thoughts you have. I look forward to working with the county, not because he's in the room, but Genesis Partners, Charles Point, Jamie is an outstanding person. From the very beginning, when we started looking around the region of where to go, and we did look wide and far in Harrison County, and I've had conversations with many. Some will say, why so close? Jamie and his group were able to work with us in a very affordable way to be able to do this, to be able to help his project, but also to help us affordably build this project. So special thanks to him and everyone at his organization for making it happen, at least to this point, that we can move forward and apply.
You know, David, I know the subject right now is healthcare, and that's what it's all about. How many job opportunity would this create for us in this area?
I always say between 55 and maybe 80
Wow.
jobs. So that's nurses, that's lab techs, that's pharmacy, that's doctors. We don't bring many specialists in. Most of it is by telemedicine, because at the end of the day, most are medically managed by a hospitalist or a medical doctor, but they all rotate through. And we have about 70 new employees that came into Marion, and we expect it to be about the same in Harrison.
David, that's huge.
It is.
The healthcare and the economic impact of that is huge here.
To give you a sense, Mon, most people don't think about it. You know, we call ourselves Mon General because that's where we started. Our health system has grown. We are now 4 hospitals owned by Mon Health System: Preston Memorial, Stonewall Jackson Memorial, Mon Marion, and Mon General or Mon Health Medical Center. We have 3 clinical affiliation management agreements with Grafton City Hospital, Highland Clarksburg, and Mini Hamilton Health System. We have 55 locations across the state, as far south as Elkins, and a cardiac building, all the way up north to Hopwood, Pennsylvania, where we have a gynecology practice and we have a heart clinic in Garrett County, Maryland. So most people think it's just this small little hospital in Morgantown. We're not. We're the 9th largest employer in the state. We have more than $200 million in payroll. Our organization generates about $1.1 billion in gross revenue, and we net about $450 million in net. So when you add that with nearly 3,900 employees, we're a sizable organization that will continue to always laser focus on top quality, top service, and affordability. We will not bankrupt the patient because of their healthcare. We will work with them through patient access, and we have policies in place to be able to make sure we can work with them to afford the healthcare they need. But most importantly, as you've seen in the paper lately, and you know the Mon brand, we're a 4-star CMS hospital at Mon Health Medical Center. We're 5-star at Stonewall. The Loan Institute just recognized Stonewall Jackson Memorial Hospital as a top 100 safety net hospital. We are centers of excellence. I could be like Fridays, if you've ever been to the Fridays restaurant, where every button on you that you can imagine. We are a Leapfrog B hospital, which is the 2nd highest rated that you can be by third party about our outcomes at Mon Health Medical Center. That speaks volumes. We're the only ones at that caliber in the state. So we put it first and foremost with clinician led. They drive what we need. My job is like a principal. My job is not to be in the classroom, but to figure out how to make sure the curriculum is done, make sure the bills are paid, make sure we have happy, productive employees. Well, that's the same in healthcare. My job is to get out of the way, give the resources to our doctors, and make sure that they can thrive. And you see that at Mon, and we're going to bring that to Harrison County.
I have no questions.
I'm
excited.
We're excited too.
David, did you have anything?
No, David, sorry couldn't be there to see you, and as we talk about other things, I think you've got a lot to bring to Harrison County.
Well, I'm pleased to do it. I know I wear lots of hats in the community. I'm on the Fairmont State Board, work with Chairman Hinkle on ways to make sure the mechanics program, along with the aeronautical program at Fairmont State, continues to thrive and be stable and stay in Harrison County, and that's my commitment to you all. I'm now the vice chair. I don't have the final word or say. We have a board, but working with Chairman Hinkle and that board of governors, I think we have made great progress and will continue to be amicable, good relationships, and make sure the right things happen for the students as I'm transitioning to that conversation. But from healthcare, We are a public asset and you own us and we want to make sure we're good stewards of your dollars.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. If it's okay, I'd love to come back and give updates on how the process is going.
Sure, absolutely.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much.
You got it. Take care. Okay, at 10:10, we have Chief John Elko. Sorry, Fire Department staffing concerns, West Milford, Fire Chief.
Yeah, Patsy, Susan, Ron, David. Thank you for having me here. Two of you here I've spoke with about the situation that we have with the fire departments. And I want y'all to know that I'm here today representing West Milford. I am president of the Harrison County Fire Chiefs Association, but today I'm here representing West Milford because we have a need. And as I spoke to you two about this previously, I gave you a couple, did you give these to them?
I gave it to
Okay,
Commissioner Treecost,
All right.
Commissioner Thomas, but David
Right,
is on the
right,
phone.
okay. I'm not going to read this to you, but the Berkeley County Fire Department, this is something that was put together by the county fire chief over in Berkeley County as to what where they've been and what they're trying to do. And I'm not saying this is something that I want to see done verbatim, but there's something that's already working within the state. They have growing pains. I talked with them, about this. So I just want you to read over this later to see that this is something that I want to try to work towards. I gave you another paper there that tells you about the fire departments in Harrison County, what we have and what we would like to see us move towards. And the only reason I'm really here at West Milford, we are down to 7 people. And I mean, that is 7 people that we work with. I've been in this now for, 43 years. Volunteerism is down nationally, whether it be in the fire service, whether it be in other forms of volunteerism. I was a Lion with Lions Club International for years. And when I joined, we had 50 people in West Milford. Now they're down also. They can't get people. So I'm only using that because that's a reference that I worked with before. We need the help as to getting paid people. People today don't volunteer. There's too many other things. They tell me I need to reach out to the schools. I've tried before to reach out to the schools, but when I grew up, there wasn't so much to do. Today, there's a lot to do. And I'm not knocking the sports in the schools or other extracurricular activities that they have, but there's more for the kids to do. For me to try to get them to say, hey, come over here and volunteer, we'll get your training. We'll let you ride on the BRT, the big red truck. It's not there for the kids anymore. It's not a draw anymore. And things in the community is scouting that they can't get the kids anymore. So, we need to come up with a plan. There's already, like I said, one over in Berkeley County that is working, and they're putting paid people in the volunteer fire departments. As I was told, I talked over there, I take it that it's a little different in Berkeley County, that they don't have a county commission, it's council. And I had spoke with the gentleman that started the program over there was Eddie Gokenauer. And he put this program together. Well, to kind of secure his program, I believe he became one of the council. So now he has other people that took over the program. So talking with him, he told me, he said, the first problem you're going to have when you go to do this is dealing with all the volunteers. You're going to run into egos. And I told him right off the bat, I said, that's not a problem. I've been around these people for years. Well, when I brought up the idea, I thought it was going to be lynched. There's some people that egos become a problem, and we need to get over that. We need to work together. That's why I'm here. I am willing to say, hey, I have West Milford Fire Department. We're out there. I have the equipment. I have the trucks. I have the equipment we need. I just need trained people to put in here. And I mean, most of you here are business people. I've ran businesses, been with stuff. Where else can you go to that I'm going to give you, not give you, but I'm going to let you use, or if I have to give you the equipment needed to run a business? You know, where else can you go and turn around and say, hey, I want to start up a business and everything's there. Just give me the people. Because we need this for the public. I'm here because I'm worried about what's going to happen out here. We have went through quite a bit of calls that we get by. But the fire department anymore has evolved from just being a fire department. 85 to 90% of our calls are medical. And anymore, you go out to pick up someone that has fallen, they need help. They might not need to go on an ambulance, but they need help. Well, when I got 7 people, and I'm fortunate because all my people work, they all have jobs. So I have to rely on them when they're there. So again, if I could get paid people, we can put somebody in there to get out and get this. I'm not wanting a decision from this. I want to throw this out here for information for you to look at. I'm willing to come back. And I realize this is going to be, if we can do this, it's going to be a growing process. It's something we'll have to work to. As to funding, I'm not so sure. I have ideas. I'm not wanting to say that we need to put in a levy to fund this. They have a levy in Berkeley County, but they don't use it for this. They use that to buy equipment for the departments to help supply the departments there. So I'm not, like I say, I have ideas, but I want you to look this over. You know, again, we're probably going to have to revisit this more than once, but we need to do something out for the people. West Milford, we're approaching 75 years. I believe next year will be 75 years for the fire department. We've done this, I don't know, basically for free. You all help us. You give us money to help us along, and that is greatly appreciated. And we still need that. And I've thought about taking the monies from the county commission and help the fund for paid myself. Now, I don't know how the others feel, but again, when you earmark that money for something and you budget it, it's kind of hard to give that up, you know, to go and say, oh, well, I'm going to take all that money and use that. But I have thought of that. Now, you know, we get monies from the state, which is part of your insurance tax, premium tax monies. If you'll notice it, when your insurance bills, there's money there. That's where we get money from. But we cannot use that for hiring people. That's used for equipment, insurance, fuel, everything else you need, but we cannot use that for there. I would love to use that, but until they change that in the state or make changes, we can't use that money for that. So there again, I've looked at avenues to try to hire, but I just can't come up with it. So I'm wanting for you all to try to at least look at this and give me, you know, some help here, because I need it at West Milford. Now, there are other fire departments out here that need this. And I'm here today because of me. If I get a unified representation from the Fire Chiefs Association, then I will use them. But I have 2 fire departments that have committed to me that if we would put in a program, they're willing to utilize their facilities for this. So I've done a little bit of work, but I just need some help from you all.
Thank you, Chief.
You not talked about this.
We've talked,
Several.
you know, I don't know if you have any questions. I think I've covered a good bit, but anything I can answer, I'm always available to you to do this, but you know, if you would please look this over, and then we'll try to go from there.
That's all we can do.
Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate you coming.
Okay, thank you.
Does David have any questions?
David, do you have any questions?
David?
No,
Okay,
no, I'm good.
Can I ask a question?
yes, sir.
Have you spoken with the state fire marshal at all about the concept of more of a metro shared approach to fire
Well-
management? And what have they said?
This, if you look, well, I gave them a copy of this and pass it, if you will, pass it. This here was a PowerPoint presentation that was put together by the fire chief over in Berkeley County that was made to the State Fire Commission and the West Virginia State Fire Marshal's office as to a program that they have working. So this has already been presented to them. I mean, we all know there's a problem, but I would like to see us to get ahead of the program. You know what I mean? Try to get ahead, to put something. I'm not so sure that if we wait long enough that it's going to happen at the state level. I'd like to see us try to do something. I mean, you know, they already seen there was a problem over in Berkeley County and said, hey, we need to do something. And I'd like to see us do the same here, whether it be a model program. I mean, when we did the radio program here in Harrison County several years ago, where we went out and did the interoperability program, it was a model program. And a lot of people, Marion, Mon, Kanawha, all of them based off of what we did and said, hey, we can work with this. I'd like to have a program here that they look at it and say, look, this is what Harrison County did. It works. I'd love to see that.
I understand it's a great concept. I mean, I've tried to join municipalities. It just gets really hard and tricky because of the Letterman jacket issue, which you raised at the beginning. So,
I mean, as I said, with me here for West Milford, I have been with it 43 years and we've done a lot, but I'm willing to say, hey, we need help. I'm willing to say, here it is. Take this and give me people and we'll make the program work. The volunteers will still be there that I can get. I'm not saying they're still there to help augment the program, but we just, again, getting over egos and getting the people to work together will be the hard part. I know that.
And there's just the one in Berkeley County.
Well, in Berkeley County, they're different there. They have 5 volunteer fire departments. You got Martinsburg that is a career department and 5 volunteer fire departments. Come to Harrison County, we have Clarksburg, Bridgeport, Salem, I believe is all paid now, somewhat. They're still volunteer. But I'm not wanting to man every fire department. I don't, and I'll use Johnstown as an example. Do I need to put somebody out there 24/7? No. But if I had somebody in the southern part of the county, if a call is needed, we can go there. Because I've already talked with Mr. Bump, Paul Bump, and the new CAD system that we have, we can adapt it to where if we had 3-page stations, we can now send a truck that way. We can get somebody on the road. The volunteers get out, don't need us, that's fine. But we can now use one in the northern part of the county and they can, if a call goes out for Wallace, Shinston, Spelder, we can get a truck on the road. We got people right out the door. Same thing in West Milford or Nutter Ford. We got somebody that we can get somebody right out the door. You don't need them, we can turn them around. But I'd rather have somebody on the way than not knowing what's going to happen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, John.
All right, thank you.
Okay, we have number 11. Review, discuss, consider permission to travel for Gina Jones and Michelle Tompkins for the 20th cycle grant training in Charleston on July 18th.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Review, discuss, consider budget revision for vital services.
Madam President, this is the budget revision for vital services. It's for OEM emergency services, the 7-Eleven live item in vital services. It has taken the unencumbered funds that were not spent in 7-Eleven last year, the last fiscal year that just ended June 30th, and also taken the $460,000 that was budgeted for the transfer to other funds. That way, it'll be a revised budget of 1,078,911 over $1 million to that account to pay back financial stabilization, who will then pay back general county. I know that we owe over $2 million back to general county for the 911 center. And I'm looking to recoup some of that. Because as we've talked about general fund and the numbers, we really need revenue to come in. Between the different properties that we have and payments that we have, the airport property, we pay over $412,000 a year for that payment. It's over $34,000 a month. The GSA, we're at 1.4 million for that. 609 West Main Street, we're at 74,000. Elliott Thrasher, we're at over 170,000. So that's over $2 million a year payment. So I'd really like to put these funds back into general county to help out with the balance in general county right now.
Motion to approve as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Number 13, review, discuss, consider Charles Point Series 2019 excise tax bonds documents relating to trustee replacement. A, Charles Point Series 2019 excise tax bonds documents relating to trustee replacement. B, resolution of amendment of escrow agreement. And C, amendment of CED assessment escrow agreement. And D, amendment to deed of trust escrow agreement. And we have Mr. Tom Angel here.
Good morning, commissioners. So you have before you a resolution which approves two other documents in essence and gives the president the authorization to execute and deliver these documents. And the two documents relate to the 2019 bonds. So there were two escrow arrangements that were set up with that bond issue at that time of closing. And let me know if anyone can't hear me. But there was one for a deed of trust that would be security for the bondholders. In the event that there were a default on the bonds, they had the ability to record a deed of trust on the property. And then also at that time, there were money set aside in connection with the closing for the 19 bonds to pay CED assessments on the 2008 bonds. And those were developer funds that were set aside at that time in an escrow to pay assessments, which has occurred with respect to Charles Point Crossing over the last couple of years. The holder of the 2008 bonds is also the holder of the 19 bonds. They would like to, currently there's two different trustees, Wilmington Trust for the 19 and UMB Bank for the 8. The common holder of all of those bonds would like to see the trusteeship consolidated under one trustee with UMB Bank. So these documents would the bondholder, all the bondholders, including Genesis Partners, have signed documentation approving the trusteeship to be moved over to UMB Bank. We now need to move all the collateral over, and that involves these assignments and some other documents. But these two assignments would basically move that collateral from the old trustee to the new trustee. So that's what's involved here. And happy to try to answer any questions, but it's really pretty straightforward.
We'll have discussion, Tommy, and I'll make the motion that we get permission for the president to unify with UMB Bank, that we have one trustee from this point on, merging the 2008 and the 2019.
Yes, that'd be great.
Motion as stated by Commissioner Treecost. Is there any discussion? Any discussion?
No.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.
Resolution. 3 signature pages. Those with you. This document,
Okay, we'll move on to 14, review, discuss, consider county
one escrow
making best
agreement.
and final offer to CSX Inc. related to GAP One Row Whole District, Harrison County, West Virginia, 26301. Rail Trail potential executive session pursuant to 69A4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of
The other agreement.
public funds or other matters involving commercial competition, which is made public, might adversely affect the financial or other interests of the county.
Motion to go into executive session pursuant to 6-9A-4B9.
Motion has been made to go into executive session under 69A4B9. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Madam President, pursuant item 14, motion to negotiate best and final offer for the Wilsonburg Gap property on the rail trail for Laura Pease, County Administrator, to negotiate as representation of the County Commission of Harrison County.
The CSX. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, number 15, administrators report.
I do have a few things today. Maintenance and IT have been attending training over at the GSA building. The training has been on security, HVAC, fire controls, so they have started training this week. Lumberport water meter project has been submitted for review, so we'll wait to hear back on that. It was a pleasure taking Jonathan Board around the county to look at different spots for Mon General. It's exciting, in my opinion, that they want to come here because it not only benefits Harrison County, but benefits the surrounding counties as well. So I look forward to that partnership. So far, we've had an applicant for the fiduciary commissioner. It's posted on our website. The deadline is coming up. So if anyone's interested in that, please, a reminder that it's on the website. And then my update on the power in the building. Currently, let me get the latest information. That's what Danny came to get me for. Not only originally when I came into the meeting at that point in time, we knew that one of the legs in the transfer vault was down and they were going to be looking for the fuse. After more investigation into the issue of our power problem, the transformer has gone bad. So once they get a game plan, because they currently do not have a game plan for this, once that plan is in place, it'll take at least another 12 to 16 hours for the power here in the courthouse to be restored.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 15. Commissioner Hinkle, do you have anything? Okay, Commissioner Treecost?
No, ma'am.
I have nothing.
Motion adjourned.
Motion to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried.